What we've realized was we needed a constitution. We needed something in writing, something that our own employees would tell us what the expectations of one another are at Bright Horizons. So a little less than 10 years ago, the HEART principles were born: honesty, excellence, accountability, respect, and teamwork. And like many of you, I've always been a little skeptical of these kinds of things. Many companies have principles like this. We have about 16 of them. But these things took off in ways I could have never even imagined. They became sort of the internal constitution for the company. The way we onboarded leaders, we developed a number of sessions. Dan and his team developed a number of great sessions around them. And, I'll just share with you a couple stories when how I know these things are working. Sometimes you wonder, as a leader with so many employees, are these things working? Do they resonate with people? And what I would tell you on that score, I'll tell you a little story. We do this new employee orientation, new management orientation, where we bring our leaders from all over the world to Boston for a few days, and I bring them to my house and cook them lunch. And we talk a little bit about the history of the company and a little bit about the HEART principles. And we'd recruited a really good manager from one of our competitors. This is about 4 or 5 years ago. And, she sat around, and at the end, we sort of go around and talk about how everybody's feeling about what they heard, any last thoughts. And she says in front of the group, when I was working outside of Bright Horizons, we and my peers looked at you guys as a cult. And now that I'm here at Bright Horizons, I realize it's culture. And I thought that was that was a razor-thin point that actually still to this day I think about, and something obviously we all aspire to. The other way that I know these are working is, of course, we have this great employee satisfaction, like many of you. 97% of our employees in our employee opinion survey tell us they're really happy with us and working in what they're doing, and the company's giving them what they need. But of course, we all have those few percentage of people who aren't so happy. And one of the things that tells me that our HEART principles are working is when I hear from somebody who hasn't had a great experience with Bright Horizons, and they tend to write a nice, long letter, and they address it, of course, to me. And typically in that letter, on the top, they take a HEART principle, and they tell me why their experience at Bright Horizons hasn't lived up to the HEART principle. I know it's working when our disgruntled employees actually use the HEART principles as a means to give us feedback. And so the HEART principles have clearly become an important piece of what we do.